Welcome the Born on This Day channel, where we explore fascinating lives of individuals born on this day. Today, we'll look at Charles Dickens, who was born on February 7, 1812, in Portsmouth, England. His early years were difficult, and his experiences with poverty and struggle shaped the unforgettable characters and themes of his novels. Charles Dickens was compelled to work in a bootblacking factory at just 12 years old while his father was imprisoned for debt. This incident influenced youthful characters like as Oliver Twist and David Copperfield, making Dickens a defender of the underprivileged in his works. Before becoming a novelist, Charles Dickens worked as a law clerk and a journalist, where he honed his observational talents and narrative abilities while working on sketches by Boz in 1836. This laid the foundation for his first major novel, The Pickwick Papers, which had a tremendous impact on his career. Charles Dickens rose to literary prominence with The Pickwick Papers while he was only 25 years old. The work was published in serial fashion, leaving readers eager for the next installment. His distinct storytelling style and sense of humor catapulted him to literary stardom, setting the stage for his subsequent works. Oliver Twist, published in 1838, revealed the terrible reality of child labor, poverty, and criminality in Victorian England. Dickens utilized his writing to highlight social inequalities, making this one of his most important works. The novel's eponymous characters, Fagin and the Artful Dodger, are still iconic in literature today. Despite his brilliance, Charles Dickens' private life was fraught with troubles. His marriage to Catherine Hogarth was difficult, and the two separated after 22 years. Dickens' emotional suffering frequently inspired his works, instilling raw passion and realism in his characters and situations. David Copperfield, published in 1850, is regarded as the most autobiographical of Charles Dickens' books. The novel follows a young boy's path through adversity, which mirrors many of Dickens' personal problems. The novel is still one of his most admired works, and it exemplifies his storytelling genius. Charles Dickens' best-selling novel A Tale of Two Cities, 1859, takes place during the French Revolution and examines themes of sacrifice, redemption, and political injustice. The famous opening line, "It was the best of times, it was the worst of times," is still a common literary expression. A Christmas Carol, 1843, introduced the world to Ebenezer Scrooge, a miserly businessman who discovers the true meaning of Christmas. Charles Dickens created the novella in 6 weeks and it quickly became a classic. Its themes of compassion and redemption continue to inspire people around the world during the holiday season. Charles Dickens was more than just a fiction, he was a strong campaigner for social change. His works focused on child labor, debtors' prisons, and class fights. Dickens' writing inspired Victorian-era reforms, demonstrating that literature could be used to promote justice and raise consciousness. Dickens' fame brought him around the world. He traveled America in 1842, criticizing slavery and bad working conditions. Despite his critiques, he remained a popular figure in the United States, returning for a triumphant reading tour in 1867. His global impact reinforced his reputation as an international literary legend. In his senior years, Charles Dickens wrote and gave public readings. His 1864 novel Our Mutual Friend was one of his most intricate masterpieces. However, his demanding work schedule took a toll on his health, resulting in weariness and illness. Charles Dickens was badly upset after being engaged in the Stapleust rail tragedy in 1865. He survived, but his health worsened significantly in the years that followed. Despite this, he continued to write, creating The Mystery of Edwin Drood, an unfinished work that is still a mystery to this day. On June 9, 1870, Charles Dickens died at the age of 58. He died from a stroke at his Kent home and was buried in Westminster Abbey's Poets' Corner. The world grieved the passing of a literary titan whose works had influenced millions. Over 150 years after his death, Charles Dickens' writings are still being transformed into films, plays, and television programs. His compelling storytelling and vivid characters are still an important element of literature, demonstrating that his legacy is really eternal. Charles Dickens' contribution on literature and society is undeniable. His works highlighted injustices, sparked changes, and entertained generations. What is your favorite Charles Dickens novel? Please let me know in the comments. Don't forget to see my other videos about great literature. See you next time. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating stories from remarkable individuals born on this day.